Welcome to the Jacob Wayne Show in live color. I am your Jacob Wayne, and with me, as always, in Utah is Kellen.
Through the magic of the internet, our faces now appear.
Yes.
In live, yeah.
We figured y'all were getting a little thirsty, so trying to make it happen for you. I'm definitely going to have to fight the urge of looking at you and be like waiting for stuff. I guess I should be right here.
Engaging to the audience here. Yeah.
Yes. So who knows how long this episode is going to be. We're still kind of getting used to stuff. Right off the bat, we have a brand new email address.
Woo.
It is thejacobwayneshow@gmail.com. So if you have issues with us being libcucks, or you don't like this new audio through the whole Zoom chat thing, write us at thejacobwayneshow@gmail.com.
And if you don't like the new email address, write us at Koshka@gmail.com.
We should start an underground movement against the new. I was their first listener, and this is all bullshit. They sold out. Didn't want to see their fucking faces.
It was all good till episode 43, man.
Is it 43? I think it's 42.
42.
Is 42 the meaning of life in the Hitchhiker's Guide
to
the
Galaxy?
That's
true. There you go.
I think we already got our title.
Yeah, we're gonna be the better be a good episode.
Yeah. Is there a way to do like a screenshot in this program?
I don't know.
So then we get like, hey, and then that's just our new image.
I'm sure you can go screenshot it and it'll do it.
Let's take a look. Come along for the ride, internet world. And I won't waste too much time if I can't really spot it.
There's an app called Snip and Sketch for Windows that'll let you do that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. What are you sipping on?
Right there.
Ooh,
nice.
I got a Topo Chico seltzer. Probably currently my favorite seltzer. As y'all may remember, I've been trying a lot of these. The tropical mango is my favorite. Just has like I don't know. Usually the mango seltzers I'm not as big into. I usually prefer peach or lime or whatever. Grapefruit. Yeah. Something about this one though, man. Super tasty.
Nice.
And a little bit too much information, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. If I drink a little too much of, say, the Natty Light seltzers, which are the cheapest one, and they're at 6%, while all the other ones are at like 4.7 or 5%, my armpits start to hurt. I don't know if that's like a bit of an allergic reaction, or it's been too hot lately or what.
What?
But I drank a fuck ton of these the other day and it felt fine. But if I drank a shit ton of the Natty seltzers and had a couple tequila shots or something, I was like, my armpits, they're a little stingy.
There's some glands up in there that don't like the natty. That's so interesting.
If you think I have armpit cancer, write us at thejacobwayneshow@gmail.com. But hopefully it's nothing, maybe it's just I'm overweight and probably do drink a little too much. And my body's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, have it be higher quality.
Not natty.
Topo Chico.
They use all natural ingredients. Natty uses all natty ingredients.
Yeah. I also have my buddy Tom from Woodbelly. He like loves the Topo Chico, like just the plain seltzer. He doesn't drink, but yeah, just
Hmm.
the regular Topo Chico. He's like all about them. So that's actually the endorsement that got me to try these.
I'm going to keep an eye out for them. I've never even seen that brand.
Yeah,
Sounds
man,
tasty.
it definitely is. What are you sipping on?
So I got the mango tree shaker.
More mango.
Yeah, got it from the old Odell. This is always, I've always liked peach more than mango, but this one might change my mind. I really like this beer, and it might be better than the peach IPA they had a couple of years ago. This one's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
So that reminds me of two things. One, I also had an Odell's IPA at dinner earlier tonight. We went to Crazy Carl's pizza place here in Fort Collins, and we got two 20-ounce beers and got our food to take out.
Yeah.
And so had a little bit of that. But
Ooh.
also the other thing with the whole mango thing going on, do you remember the old sketch on Saturday Night Live, Mango?
No,
It
it's
was
not
like
ringing a
Chris
bell.
Kattan, where he's like would dance like this. Now I can do visual elements, and all these like different celebrity guests would come in and fall in love with him. Like David Duchovny would be like, "My mango," and then he'd just be
Oh.
like dancing in their like the little shoulder image. So that almost makes me want to call this episode "My Mango," but no, it's episode
Yeah.
42. It needs to be the meaning of life. Speaking of the
Yeah.
meaning of life, food. Anything
Food.
interesting this last week?
Uh, no, not anything like super exciting. Like the most exciting thing I had was I tried a new appetizer at Old Chicago. I got the jalapeno pretzel bites, and they
How
were
were
they were
those?
pretty damn tasty.
Really
So
jalapeno-y?
just in flavor, not like too spicy, but they tasted really good. So
All
that
right.
was about it.
Okay. I started a new recipe. I think I'm going to keep going back to. Went to Whole Foods and got a whole duck. And I was like, I kind of wanted to recreate the duck flavor I had tried when I lived in Hangzhou and couldn't really find the exact recipe. But the day before I was going to cook that, we ordered some wings, and one sauce flavor was Dr. Pepper sauce. And I
Huh.
was like, what the hell is that? So I had to order 5 of them, and it had like the crispness of Dr. Pepper while
Ooh.
being a little more of a, sweet barbecue type sauce. So I thought, let's get some 5 spice rub, which I could only find the Vietnamese style 5 spice rub. I don't know if there's a big difference between that and Chinese 5 spice or whatever,
Uh-huh.
but seemed about pretty much the same to what I had gotten in a little spice container when I was younger. So I got the Vietnamese barbecue 5 spice rub and two 20-ounce bottles of Dr. Pepper, some soy sauce, a little bit of sesame seed oil, and
Mm.
garlic, and threw that in the slow cooker and just cooked that up. And we had like duck and rice and duck and noodles the next night.
Oh boy.
So it's Mr. Jacob Wayne's Vietnamese barbecue Dr. Pepper duck.
Yeah. I like all those words.
Yeah, man. Especially Mr.
That's the goods.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, duck is definitely my go-to if I have the option, which isn't that common, but when it's there, I love duck. And
Yeah, man.
that does remind me, it's been a couple of weeks. I probably just forgot about it because I talked about something else. But one of the restaurants I play at did do a special with a cola glaze on a meatloaf. And was very delicious.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try the cola thing a little bit more. Like I remember when I worked at the White Owl, the prepping the chicken, sometimes you'd use like Sprite and marinate it in that. So that's a
Ooh.
thing to try. And yeah. Um it's been a good week for food though. That's for sure. I had just been craving duck a lot because my favorite thing to get was like just yatue, which is duck leg, at my
Oh
job
yeah.
when I lived in Hangzhou. So I worked at a school, go to the cafeteria during lunchtime, just like, 我要一点辣鸭腿. So I want one spicy duck leg. I'm sure my tones are horrendous. It's been a while, 2013, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, man, I want some duck. So the
Ooh.
one I'm actually really wanting to try is goose. Have you ever had any goose?
Yeah, we actually cooked one for Christmas a couple of years ago. And
Yeah.
I don't think we just kind of roasted it like you do with turkey, basically,
Yeah.
and it was good. It just wasn't amazing, and I think it's probably because of how we cooked it. I think it's probably more similar to duck, where you want to either really slow cook it or hit it with some heat and kind of get the skin all crispy.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
but
Well, that's definitely my goal is goose next. Other
there
than,
you go.
like alligator or horse or something like that.
Ooh, the crazies. Yeah, I've had
Yeah,
alligator.
I'm down to try anything. A buddy who shall remain nameless because I don't know if he'd feel ashamed that we said this to the world, all our listeners. Um, he tried horse in the Ukraine
Oh yeah.
and he loved it. And I was like, I thought I'd feel more guilty about trying horse, but I kind of don't. I don't have the same attachment to horses that I do dogs and cats. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, that it has. Um, if you think that we're savage, brutal meat eaters, then feel free to write us at the Jacob Wayne Show at gmail.com.
If somebody that like rides a lot of horses and just loves them listens to our podcast, I will just be like, well, goddamn.
I used to have a roommate that taught horseback riding, and
Oh, so there's a chance.
she got thrown off a horse and had to go through all these surgeries.
Oh, so now she wants to eat them.
You'd think she'd come out of that like, take me to the Ukraine, but no, loves them just as much as ever. I have two nieces that love horses. I'd eat them. Sorry, your Uncle Jacob's a savage.
Yeah, you can eat and ride something.
Yes, hell yeah.
Ooh, hey.
Yeah. Speaking of horse stuff, we got a story about that later on in the episode. That's just a nice little connection.
Little prequel, little
Yeah.
foreshadow.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. All right. So
Scene, they did. I really like their set.
yeah.
They did deck out their living room really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun
Yeah,
group.
their stars rising recently, and I think as I was telling you, it's not like my most favorite stuff. Like I feel like recently there's been a lot of this like neo pseudo R&B stuff coming out, which is
Yeah,
great because that means a lot of really good grooving drums and bass and stuff. But yeah, like the vocals aren't quite up on the level of the amazing R&B singers from say the soul era or even the 90s a bit.
yeah, I
So
agree.
sometimes it'll take me out. I gotta be in the mood for it a little bit. But as far as like the actual musicianship, the instrumentation, it's really great stuff. Great bass player.
Indeed. Yeah, him and the drummer's doing some really cool stuff. I like that. Kind of drunk drumming or whatever they call it now. It's pretty cool. I guess it's kind of a new thing to kind of
I've
like
never even heard of this.
It's like what he does on the first song. Like it kind of feels like it's almost out of time. So they like do the hi-hat like dit, 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 kind of just like kind of chompy. I don't know, kind of.
I guess I didn't really notice it.
Feel.
I'll have to go back and listen to it again with that in mind.
And on later ones, he's keeping it like straight in time. But there's kind of this thing where you kind of keep the hi-hat and your kick and snare like a little bit at a time. And it really just makes the pocket big, you know?
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Kind of, the hi-hat's all just kind of floating around. But yeah, they're cool group.
All right.
I dug it.
I also sent you another album that I purchased, the Charming Hostess. Had you gotten around to listening to that?
No, I haven't had a chance to yet, but
yeah, that record, there's other records, but that one has the song Ferret Said on it, which I'm sure I made you listen to at some point when I discovered it.
I do recall that.
Yeah, and it's like a punk dirty klezmer band with traditional like Hasidic African vocalizations, I think, if that's what I remember reading about it. Either way, it's like a chorus of like 3 ladies or so, like doing some really like bombastic vocals, and then there's a great rhythm section. And the bass player is let's see if I can find his name real quick. Niles, I believe it is, but he's from the band Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum.
Okay.
And so I always loved that band, but didn't really care for the vocals too much. And unfortunately, he's the guy that does the vocals. Like, no, not to take a dig on him. It's just not my favorite stuff.
Yeah.
His name is Niles Freakdale. That's Frykdahl. And he's also in the bands Idiot Flesh and Fawn Fables.
I have to listen to Idiot Flesh. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's essentially like the preamble to Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. But in Charming Hostess, he just plays bass. And he's just always has this like really herky-jerky rhythm to him. And so on bass, mixed with like the kind of like almost like gypsy jazz-esque drumming, is just awesome. So you should listen to it and let me know what you think in the next episode.
Will do.
One more release. There's a remix that was released from Faith No More that was remixed by J.G. Thirlwell. Do you remember who he is?
No, I do recognize the name. I can't remember why.
He was the Australian composer that did the music for Venture Bros.
That's it.
Yeah. So I hope they make another record.
Indeed. I want to go check that remix out. I've been watching the Venture Brothers through, so no wonder I recognize that name. I'm like, I've seen that like recently.
Yeah.
That's where.
With that, that's a pretty smooth transition into, what have you been watching? Let's do some chatting movies.
That's what you look like when you make that face.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we can't do our little vocal drops right now. We're going to figure it out.
We'll do it
for now, we're just kind of figuring out the video element and all this stuff. So with what you're watching and stuff. I haven't watched Venture Bros in years.
Oh man,
where are you watching it right now?
it's on Hulu.
Oh,
all the things I'm watching are on Hulu.
All right, I need to utilize my Hulu a bit more. I tend to hang out on HBO Max. Currently been watching Ozark on Netflix, and that's a really good show. You should watch that if you haven't.
Yeah, I need to get that one on my list for sure. That's a great show. I've just seen like a couple of episodes and need to watch
Which
it all
ones? Like right in the middle or near the beginning?
I think I watched like the first one or two. I don't
They're
even
good.
remember where. But yeah, gets better.
Yeah, gets better.
Oh yeah, nice.
I don't know. That first one's really good.
Yeah, just never gotten back around to finishing it. So
yeah, I would say that it gets back to that level.
Nice.
Yeah, consistently. But the Venture Bros, though, I think the last season I saw was like season 4 or something.
Oh yeah, they got man. I think I'm on like season 7 now.
Yeah, I just lost
quite a few
access to them and kind of just went to the wayside and haven't seen them. But I've been wanting to rewatch those again.
Yeah, it's really good. The later seasons are a little interesting, but like they got like better animation and stuff, and it's just kind of like a totally different vibe than the first couple of seasons, but still good, still really funny. It's an enjoyable show.
They still got Brock.
Yeah, he's always around.
It's good to know. He's always my favorite.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, and I really like Dr. Orpheus. He cracks me up.
Yeah,
always
good.
has the theme music. Everything's like hyper dramatic.
Does Mr. Bisbee ever come back?
He does like pop up occasionally, but yeah, he's really just that one episode is his main thing. Yeah.
What's the one line? It's like, now for pleasantries and hot panda milk.
Yeah. Mindeleaf, I've come aflame again.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Honestly, Ozark's all I've been watching this week, though. The one thing I was doing before this episode was I was trying to finish the Suicide Squad. I started it while we were eating that pizza, and there was like half of it left. But do you know about that film?
No, I haven't really seen anything about that one.
All right. So a quick recap of the lead up to it. There was the Suicide Squad. Maybe it was like 2016, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was the introduction of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, which blew up. Had Will Smith in it, had Jared Leto as the Joker, and it was a total piece of shit.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody acted well in it except Jared Leto, in my opinion.
I remember this. Yep.
But yeah, like Harley Quinn was like the standout from it, but the movie wasn't really regarded that well. So they were going to kind of do this sort of sequel, sort of reboot like they do these days. And okay, so he gets hired on to do that. So he wasn't really totally canceled. The way to look at it is he had some kind of dirty joke tweets and he worked for Disney, and that's how Disney do. That being said, I'm still not a big fan of like digging up people's old stuff, but Disney firing him, I kind of get it. It's Disney. But all the cast members of Guardians of the Galaxy loved James Gunn and were like, I don't know if I want to be in this movie if he's not going to direct it. And then it kind of got buried for months, maybe even a year or so. He starts working on the Suicide Squad, and eventually it's like, this is turning out pretty good and kind of interesting looking and all this stuff. And Guardians of the Galaxy cast still love him. And so Disney eventually hired him back to do the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, his Suicide Squad just barely came out. It's on HBO as well as in the theaters. And it's a lot of fun, and it's funny, and it's silly. It's not a deep thinker. It's just silly superhero nonsense, but it's rated R. It's incredibly violent. That's kind of what I like about the DC ones in comparison to the Marvel Disney ones. I like the Marvel Disney ones, but they're kind of like cinema for the whole family. And in this instance, it's like, I want to see somebody get their head cut off and they just giggle about it or something.
Word.
So the first half of the film's been really enjoyable, and has Sylvester Stallone doing the voice of a giant shark man, and nice. Harley Quinn's back, and there's this sleepy girl who controls rats with the machine, and a guy that pukes up polka dots.
Is that a power?
Yeah, he's Polka Dot Man.
What does that do?
It's apparently a intergalactic disease that his mother infected him with because she was obsessed with making all her children superheroes. And so he has to vomit them up twice a day or they'll eat him alive. But he can also kind of puke them out to blow shit up and eat away at people and all this weird stuff.
Wait, they're explosive polka dots?
I didn't completely wrap my head around the physics of the polka dots, but that being said, there's another scene, spoiler, where Harley Quinn's kicking the shit out of people. And then I think they took it from the other Harley Quinn movie she was in. It's like a visual thing, but all these bright colors and petals and Tweety birds, animated Tweety birds, show up around her while she's killing a bunch of people. And I think that's supposed to be what's inside her head when she's murderous. But when all this color behind her started exploding, I was like, is that Polka Dot Man showing up? And it's not the easiest film to follow, but at the exact same time, it doesn't matter because it's all visual, all jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. There's a part where Idris Elba's looking at John Cena's character. He's like, are you seriously in your tidy whities right now? And he's just in his tidy whities with a big bulge. He's like, that's racist. Kind of funny.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's not super highbrow humor either. It's ridiculous. At one time, John Cena's like, there's
nice.
Yeah. So I would say watch the Suicide Squad, not with your kids.
There you go. I'll have to check it out.
And that's all. Anything else you've been watching this week?
No, not really. That's that weird nun movie I talked about last week was the last movie I watched.
You got a Dear Jacob Wayne?
I do.
Let's just do that.
I like
Wah,
that
wah,
song.
wah, wah,
I
wah,
can't
wah.
remember the yeah with the sick drum beat. Yeah, that one. Dear Jacob Wayne. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Dear Jacob Wayne. You could choose to not answer this one if it's too far out there for you.
Nothing's too far out, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Every year on our anniversary, my husband and I take a photo in our wedding clothes. This is our first anniversary since having our first child, a boy. I think it would be super cute to have photos of my son in both his dad's tux and also my wedding dress. I am worried that our families will read too much into it, but it's not that deep. Just as it would be meaningful for my husband to see our son in his suit, it would be special to me to see him in my dress. If we had a daughter, I wouldn't even be hesitating to take photos of her in both. I hate that people are fine with girls wearing any type of clothing, but boys can't. It's just clothing that has sentimental value to us. Thoughts, Jacob Wayne?
All right, I got thoughts. Look, if you want to do that, who gives a fuck? Do it.
I like it.
Like, I can't help but think that this is one of those people that's looking for something to feel is controversial in order to create a controversy. So then they feel oppressed
Like,
about the weird thing they're doing. But the reality is, who gives a shit? It's a goofy little idea, as you say. So yeah, put them in a weird half dress, half tuxedo, or both. I'm not totally sure what you're envisioning, but I already think taking a photo of each other in your wedding outfits every year, anyways, is silly. So it's all stupid ideas,
yeah,
but it's sentimental to you. So who
do
gives a
what you
shit? It's
wanna.
about you and yours. And if your
Yeah,
family gives a fuck, be like, get the fuck over it, Uncle Joseph.
exactly.
And if you don't know how to tell your family to fuck off, you have a problem with communication. I
Yep.
think I went through leaving the Mormon church and having my whole rest of my family be Mormon. We went through some rough years, but we both set up our boundaries about what we're cool with, what we'll accept, what it takes for us to be around each other, so on and so forth. And in a lot of ways, after years of that, it's like whatever. I could
Yeah.
order a beer in front of my family, but why? And at the same time, they don't feel the need to be like, you're drinking beer. Like we just mutually, I kind of would rather not get into it with them and piss them off. Let's just enjoy what we enjoy together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to my brother about White Zombie and smoking pot and all this other stuff. I'm going to watch Utah Jazz basketball with him.
Good plan.
So it's like, to get back to this particular lady, you're trying to get pissed off and what'll I do?
And
You're
nothing's
sitting
even
here
happened.
writing about all this bullshit photo idea you have. It doesn't matter. Your feelings kind of don't matter unless they
Yeah,
matter to you. Don't
exactly.
give your family members and society all this power over you. Now, if somebody was actually coming after you and oppressing you for doing such things, now we got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
And I got your back. But your family doing some oppressive shit, like verbally, you got to kind of just deal with it.
And they haven't even done it yet.
Yeah,
I'm
like
just
you're creating a hypothetical of what they're going to be offended about. So, in a way, like this is a big problem these days with our little culture of course, there's a giant difference between somebody makes a bunch of offensive tweets from years ago, they get found, Disney's a family company, they're going to fire you. The lady that was on The Mandalorian that said, kind of feel like being on the right is almost like being a Jew in the Holocaust. Like, you can say that all you want in a free society, but Disney doesn't have to keep giving you work.
No.
And yeah, I guess it is kind of a weird little goofy thing, but honestly, if you pay attention to things in context, it's not that hard to navigate. Harvey Weinstein, total rapist creep, should go to jail. Bill Cosby should go to jail, be canceled, removed. Louis C.K., he apologized. Let's move on. But if you don't like him and you don't want to watch his shit, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Don't like it. And I even have a bit of a like, I love Louis C.K., but it's just like, that's kind of creepy, dude. It is kind of hard to
weird.
Get into certain bits like I used to.
For sure.
But yeah, of course, there's levels. And if you ever need proof that cancel culture isn't actually really happening, just look at the fact that Bill Cosby just got released from prison. And that this lady that got fired from The Mandalorian and Disney, she just got rehired to be in this epic conservative movie. And like, it's just changing hands.
Boy.
James Gunn got fired from Disney, gets hired by DC.
Yep. That's,
Basically, in today's social media climate, if you say something publicly or type it or whatever, you might get a reaction. And if that means 20 to 43% of the populace doesn't want your shit anymore, then they don't want your shit anymore. But you're not being oppressed. You're not going to jail for something. You know, you're just like, oh, I lost a job because this family-oriented company doesn't want to work with me anymore. If you started talking about Jews in the Holocaust at your job at work, just start talking like that in the break room and see how long you have your job.
Yeah.
And I would also say that if you're talking like that at your job in the break room and you're not losing your job, what kind of place are you fucking working?
Indeed.
Construction.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some forward-thinking construction companies, but am I going to get canceled for saying that? Is the construction folks going to come after me and try to cancel the Jacob Wayne show?
They got a union, man. They coming.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's see, and then we get really
don't
popular.
like that dear Jacob Wayne. That annoyed the shit out of me. What's her name?
Oh, hold on. Michigan Housewife 22.
You know what, Michigan Housewife 22? Shut up. That's what I gotta say. All right. Let's go into philosophy.
Let's do it. Think deeps. That's what we call it. I remember now. All right. Right to the point. This one's quick. This one's easy. Okay. Can we be certain of anything?
Yes.
Word. All right. Let's move on to weird.
like, look, if we're gonna play that game, then it's like, yeah, no, I guess we can.
I think that's what this list is for, is playing that game. That seems to be the whole entire purpose. You know, just like all that.
Well, here you go. I'm certain that question annoyed me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain. Wait a minute. Wait, no, I actually loved it. Like, no, it's fucking stupid. I'm certain that was a stupid fucking thought exercise. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Man, these sections are pissing me off today. Yeah. And that's what's great about science, is it isn't certain of anything.
Indeed. It's
But
always searching.
I think, yeah, certainty is dangerous. I'll give it that.
True.
But it's just like, no, yeah, that question annoyed me. I'm certain of that. I'm certain I love you. You're my buddy.
Indeed.
Doesn't mean that love isn't complicated or things happen in the world that, oh, I have to totally rethink this thing, or maybe I didn't know what I thought I know. I'm certain that I don't know a lot of things. I'm certain that I'm uncertain about many things.
There you go.
Yeah.
There is certainly uncertainty.
Ugh. Is this like writing prompts for a fucking 7th grade class?
That's what I'm wondering. Sometimes
the
it
more
seems
we
like that.
get on these,
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
like, oh my God.
One of these questions does end with anyway. What is blank anyway? So yeah, it could be that way.
Yeah, what is nothing anyways? That's actually kind of interesting. Can you have nothing? Is there nothing? Or is there always something?
Is the nothing that is in space something because it's in between things?
Does the fact that the thing, in order to have something, must you have nothing? But isn't the existence of something create nothing into being something?
Between the somethings, the nothing that was there is something.
That's
because
beautiful,
it's
man.
nothing.
Is that a Bob Dylan lyric? No, that's not a Bob Dylan lyric. That was actually way too poetic for Bob Dylan. That was just, oh, the laundry mat with the cut chicken wild. I don't know. I can't come up with one off the top of my head. I'll say he's a talented musician. I'm not trying to shit on Bob Dylan.
Yeah, but he does write some of his songs are very
some
good.
of those lyrics are just like, what?
But some of them are like, okay.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I'm just still pissed off about Michigan Housewife 2100 or whatever her name is.
Well,
is this controversial? Do you feel anything about this?
I do.
I definitely do. Anyway.
Well, should we get on to some enjoyable weird news?
Mm-hmm.
Weird news.
Weird news.
Just like we do have the sting.
Yeah.
All right, you going first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. So this article, I also think I'm going to say this out loud for myself. I need to start actually reading some of these articles a little bit before we record, just so I can actually like talk more fluidly about them. But yeah, well, that's something for the future. But that being said, I have to look away from you now, audience, and focus here for a minute. A fish with human teeth is caught in North Carolina. This is reported on bbc.com. Now, we're going to figure out fancier stuff in the future with our video element and maybe even throw up pictures. And I hope we can get a soundboard. That's what I really want. Head fish, which has several rows of molars for crushing prey. The fish appears to have been given its name due to its mouth looking like the mouth of a sheep. The fish was reportedly reeled in by Nathan Martin, a regular on the pier. Mr. Martin said he had been hoping to catch a sheep's head fish when he came face to face with a mouthful of teeth. It's a very good fight when you're fighting on the line. It's a really good catch and it tastes very good, Mr. Martin said. That's about it. maybe I'm gonna save this photo right here. And that'll be our artwork for this episode.
There you go. Then everybody can see that
Everybody
freaky
can
ass
see it and
fish.
just like Jesus.
I wonder if you could like take it and like keep it, and then like if you like have a tooth go bad, you can just take it into the dentist, be like, all right, swap me out one of these.
Start
Toothfish.
harvesting sheep's head. What is it again? Sheep's head fish to like replace our teeth with.
Whammy.
Yeah. Or we could just have universal health care and then everybody could just take care of their teeth.
Nah,
and when you get old, they're gonna,
are you saying communism? Are you saying communism right now?
I'm sorry. Where's Jacob gonna be? First he's giving shit to this lady about the wedding dress baby photo that didn't happen. And all right, hit me with your weird news so I can look back in the camera.
All right. Sumo scare. All right. So equestrian jumpers aren't keen on surprises.
Horse news.
Oh, equestrian. Ooh.
Yeah.
Neither are the horses. It takes years of training to keep them from getting spooked. And I can only imagine, like, it seems like all those competitions, just all those people, I don't know how they do that. That would take forever. Like the dog ones, especially. Like, I cannot imagine getting a dog to not like freak out just being in another room with another dog, let alone like do tricks.
I'll tell you how. Years and years of systematic abuse.
Yeah, probably.
Or, you're just dogs really, really trainable.
Maybe. No, but
or the horse
abuse.
Yeah.
But of course, no horse, of course. In
Tuesday, horse, of course.
In Tuesday night's Olympic jumping qualifier, had ever seen anything like obstacle number 10. That's what they called me in high school.
Obstacle number 10. We meet again.
As you come around, I can't, no, I'm not going to try to do an accent. As you come around, you see a big guy's butt, British writer Harry Charles said. That is a British name, Harry Charles, my God.
I have a case of the Harry Charles.
There's a lot to look at, Ireland's Cian O'Connor added. It's very realistic, echoed Israel's Teddy Vlock.
Hell yeah.
Writers say a life-size sumo wrestler positioned next to the 10th obstacle on the 14-jump Olympic course may have distracted several horses in qualifying for the individual jumping final Tuesday night. A few pairings pulled up short of the barrier, accumulating enough penalty points to prevent entry into Wednesday's final. So it's basically just next to a jump, and it's just like looks like the guy's ready to like jump out. So they come around a corner and they see it, and yeah, apparently like four or five around the corner, spooked.
And they see his like sumo ass.
Yeah,
and he's waiting there, and he's gonna like pounce to the side.
So they're like, oh God, and then they don't jump right. They penalize.
Do you think these horse jockeys are making it up because they didn't make it, or do you think it's like, oh yeah, I'd be distracted too? I think I'd be distracted. Come around, see a giant sumo ass. You're like, holy shit.
It is not a thing.
Like you'd slow down a little, like maybe even that little hair of a second, but even that hair of a second, making a jump like that,
I don't watch like a lot, but of all the little equestrian video footage I have seen, they all are like standard jumps. They all look the same. So maybe they're throwing out stuff like that. I could see a horse being like, what the hell's that?
Like defended it. He's just like, I still think it was like a great design, and actually wouldn't be that distracting. And I just think that's kind of funny. Like I actually kind of pictured before I read that, like him off to the side, just like It's
Yeah.
just like, I affected the race with my sumo ass.
Uh,
Well,
yeah. Apparently they did the same thing in the last games, and apparently some people blamed a different obstacle. So it could all be bullshit. Who knows? But
You see that stupid kid on turn 2? That stupid kid in the crowd. He distracted my horse.
You ruined it. That's why.
His name was
Exactly.
Harry Charles. You stupid fuck.
Uh,
All right. Is that our last segment?
yeah, I
All
believe
right.
so.
I think that was kind of a quicker episode, but that's fine. We're still kind of testing out this new form. Once
Indeed.
again, we have changed our email. It is now the Jacob Wayne Show at gmail.com. That should be easier to remember if you're watching the Jacob Wayne Show.
Yeah.
But if you want to use Koshka at gmail.com, feel free. We're just going to move it back to kind of our old band email. And, you know, we're going to make some Koshka stuff in the future. It's just hard to do it when we live in different places.
It's incubating. That's it.
Yeah. We got a whole fucking album ready for you. Just got to refine it and get in a room together. But
put it in the can.
Until then, the Jacob Wayne Show. And, I also released one of my old electronic albums under the Lobe Daddy name.
Oh, nice.
I gotta even remember how to say it because I made it in 2012. It's Antarctic Zen Garden. For some reason, I was smoking a lot of pot back then, so I thought like misspelling words or like putting like a weird way of saying a word so it becomes a new word was kind of it was cool, man. So Antarctic Zen Garden rather than Antarctic. But yeah, it's fun. I went and rediscovered it and was listening to it. I was like, this one feels pretty solid. It's not as like pedestrian as some of the earlier stuff I did. So I'm just gonna throw it up because why the hell not? Nice. I'm paying for DistroKid. They charge you by the artist. They don't charge you by releases under that artist name. So might as well fill up the Lobe Daddy. Indeed. And I've been jamming along to this new Lobe Daddy track. And it's going to be sweet, man. I'm hoping to get you to play some guitar on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, I think that's really all we got. Anything else before we wrap up the episode?
No, can't think of anything.
All right.
Guess we'll see everybody next time.
The Meaning of Life.
Number 42.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Then how do you... Thank you for listening to The Jacob Wayne Show. If you would like to contact us, please write us at fakoshka@gmail.com. That is FAKOSHKA@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Simply search The Jacob Wayne Show and it should pop right up. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. Please write us. It helps add content to the show and makes the show even better for you, the listener. Thanks for tuning in.